Good afternoon. Under the camera, you see another student's attempt at a color study for Great Wave. It wasn't successful for them. They threw it away, and I fished it out of the trash because I think this might provide a good lesson how to salvage or save a piece of art. All right, we don't want to throw things away that can be made better. And I want you to learn how to do that, to imagine how those improvements might take place. So here I have my dry paper, my water, my brush, my towel, my water-based markers. I have my Sharpie markers, and over here to the hot side, my usual pencils. Okay, so we're just going to use the basics. I'll get my little audience out of the way there. Notice that the water got out of hand, and maybe this student just had a little too much in the brush and it kind of flooded the surface and the colors ran everywhere. It's not necessarily a bad thing. What we need to do is to go back and reestablish and reinforce some of that original line work that they had, which was really very good. Now this very heavy Sharpie marker is maybe a little too heavy. I'm going to stop there and do a little something different. I added a little extra there, and I'll go ahead and complete that line as a series of dots. I see another great line down here, resolving into small little peaks of waves over here. And it's possible, if you want to, I'm going to snap the cap on that thicker marker and pick up a skinnier Sharpie, that you can use both kinds, because by varying or changing the line, you create a little more visual interest. Now, the line that I'm making doesn't have to be perfect, and it seems like I'm actually adding a little to it, but that's okay. Oh, I see they had a really nice little curve right there. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my marker around and reshape those areas. It could be that I will exaggerate some of their earlier marks, making them more noticeable. You see right there, just tightening up with line is certainly a great way to help. This mark here wasn't originally a pencil line, but I'm going to turn that into an important line for the piece. And it could be that with my smaller marker here, I'll add some extra lines. So you can go back and add some additional details. Remember, Sharpie marker is not going to redissolve when it gets hit with water. It's going to stay put, and because watercolors are kind of transparent, you can see through them. No doubt about it, you're still going to be able to see these lines later on. So I'm just having a little more fun with some additional lines. Let me go ahead and make the top of the volcano a little more rough, and I might just go ahead and add some additional texture, some lines on the surface of the volcano to make it look a little rough. Now, this is a good beginning, but I want to go back and reinforce some of these edges even more. So I'm going to go ahead, coming in from my right, since I'm right-handed, I'm going to lay color right against that line there and help to establish an even stronger edge. See what I mean by stronger? That edge is really strong now that it has that deep blue up against it. I can turn the paper and bring that blue on around if I want to. I can snap the cap on that and grab a different blue. I could actually grab other colors if I wanted to and blend them all together. Let's see what happens when I go back with my brush and dissolve some of these colors. Here, I want to put a little blue right here too, come to think of it. That's a big area. That can afford to be a little blue, and that can be afford to be a little blue right there. And maybe that right there. Let's dissolve that color, that blue and that lighter blue-green. Remember, I control the water in my brush on the lip of the container, also here on the towel, always with a fairly good point on the brush, otherwise do not use it. Go in, redissolve. Now notice that this paper has already been painted on once before, but look, the marker colors still redissolve nicely. They still move out through the paper nicely. And of course, I'm telling you I'm doing this on dry paper. I already mentioned that, so probably best that your paper be dry. And you can see already how much more noticeable, how much better definition we have along those edges of waves, those cresting waves there. I'm using quite a bit of water here, kind of flooding this area. Don't want to overuse the water, so I'm going to take what I've got and spread it out so it's not, the color's not rolling around on me. And here, let's go ahead and dissolve this and this and this and let those colors blend together. Okay, so already much better. Oh, here, I want to see if I can dissolve that a little bit more. Here, bring that out a little bit. Not bad. Even if I didn't do anything down here on this bottom half, I think that really, really helps. Now I want to make this plume of smoke a little fiery. I don't have to do it with markers. I can do it with pencil. Now remember, pencil goes down on dry paper, not wet paper. And it might be that you'll want to do some pencil work on dry paper and some painting on top of that, or some marker work on top of that. So the possibilities are pretty broad. You've got quite a bit of choice there going for you. Going dark to light, the way clouds would fade dark to light as you see them in the sky. I see a natural edge there that I'm going to reinforce, a natural edge. Give kind of a sense of turbulence or bubbling going on in those clouds. There we go. You see how that texture helps to add to the dimension of the clouds. Now let's come down here to this section below, and I think instead of marker work, let me go ahead and do a little more dry pencil work, and then maybe marker on top of that, I don't know. But already you can tell that this is not a bad little drawing, not a bad little painting. It just needed a little help. And you've got to figure out how to take lemons, squeeze them, and turn them into lemonade, so to speak. Make them something positive, even though what you've got is somewhat negative. Now, if you have a chance and you need to save a picture, you try.